Hello, everyone. Welcome into Above My Pay Grade. My name is Eric. Thanks for tuning in. If you hit that like button, hit subscribe, it really helps out the channel. Now, I want to proceed by saying none of my opinions are the opinions of the DoD or the Department of the Air Force, because I'm going to read a little bit about military recruiting and give my own thoughts. All right, so let's go over to this article here in the Wall Street Journal. Give me a second. So, Uncle Sam wants you for a military job that matters. And these are chairman of the Joint Chiefs or, let's see, secretaries of the Departments of Defense that jointly wrote this article. And best place to recruit is in the Wall Street Journal opinion section. As I've said many times, don't go to social media, go to the Wall Street Journal's opinion section. But they say here an all volunteer military has defended the U.S. for nearly 50 years. American soldiers, sailors, blah, 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 have partnered to defeat tyranny, prevent war, and defend the freedoms that allow democracy and prosperity to thrive. As the civilian leaders of the Army, Navy, Air Force, we join to ask every young American to consider serving in the U.S. military. So they're now pleading. That's how bad recruiting has gotten. They are pleading for more Americans to join the military. And they say you can develop skills that the private sector can't match. Now, I don't know about that. Sure, there's some transferable skills in the military, but I would ask them, how would let's say, a platoon sergeant in the infantry, how does that transfer to the corporate world? It doesn't really. And that's not necessarily the reason why people join, but people join for patriotism, a lot of people, and I'll get into that here in a second. We know that there are misperceptions about the military that might keep people from joining. I don't think those are misperceptions as far as spot on. What social media has done is allowed for veterans to voice their opinion, veterans to share their experiences in the military. And I've had an experience in the military, and mine's been fairly good. But a lot of veterans, there's a history. There's a family history of being in the military. I'm one of those families. My dad was in, my grandpa was in, and I joined because my dad told me about it. And that's a lot of people's stories. Their family member was in, and those family members are telling people not to join anymore. And the question is why? I'll get into my 2 cents on that. So they're looking for more members to join for obviously an all volunteer force. And the civilian leaders say to do all these things, we're counting on policymakers, schools, religious institutions, and families to reinforce the importance of service and the opportunities it provides. To our veterans, we ask you to tell your stories of service to the greatest nation in the world. I'll agree with them on that. I do think America is the greatest nation in the world. Now, I will give my 2 cents on why people aren't joining. And this doesn't apply to everyone, but it definitely anecdotally applies to people I've talked to. No person is telling their family members to join because we fought a war in Iraq and Afghanistan that was purposeless. No one knew why we were over there, as far as how it supported and defended the Constitution of the United States, because that's what we swear an oath to. We swear an oath to a document, not a person. And that is what's unique about the United States military, is that oath that we take. And so another nature of the military is you follow orders and you assume that those orders are lawful. But when you go to war, Iraq, Afghanistan, you'd really have to stretch to tell me why we were over there. We know now Afghanistan was a complete failure. We know Iraq was weapons of mass destruction, bad intel. But, I've deployed twice over there. And both times I was over in Afghanistan, I thought to myself, why are we? It doesn't make any sense why we're over here. It does make zero sense. And yet, trillions of dollars was spent. We continued it. And I was told one of two things. We're here to build democracy and um, or kill terrorists. I'm like, okay, we don't need this kind of footprint to kill terrorists. And if we're here to build democracy, that's going to take 100+ years. So settle in, because it's going to take a long time. But those were all lies, because we left last year and it was horrible. But that ticks a lot of people off, because there was blood, sweat, and tears spilled in Afghanistan. And for what? People don't even know to this day for what. And so you're asking those same people who were in to tell their kids to do the same thing. And they're saying, hold on, no, 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 no. On top of that, they have treated law-abiding military members, good military members. I did a video on this the other day. They've treated them like second-class citizens with the jab mandate. And regardless of your opinion on that, these people are freedom-loving, constitutional-loving Americans who felt like the rug was pulled out from under them, and they didn't have any top cover, meaning everyone in their chain of command didn't stand up for them. And that hurts, because you're sold this dream of unit camaraderie, and we're here for each other, and yada, yada, yada. And you're here to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Somebody gives you an order you feel is unconstitutional. You don't follow it. You're treated like a leper. That hurts. And that message has been going around, on top of no matter what you want to say, there is a agenda in the military. One of the things that unites people in the military is that unit camaraderie. It doesn't really matter where you're from. I thought that was one of the most unique parts of basic training, is we all are wearing the same thing, working towards the same goal, and you get really close with people that you probably wouldn't be friends with otherwise, because of that dynamic. And they're trying to, maybe not deliberately, but it's definitely hindering that dynamic by pointing out people's differences, whether it's celebrating some people's choices or lifestyle or what have you. As far as military in general, that's definitely hurting unit camaraderie. So beatings will continue until morale improves, unfortunately. These people want recruits. They're not going to get them, my humble opinion. And it is exactly why the reason they're telling veterans, we ask you to tell your story of service to the greatest nation in the world. Veterans are telling their story, and that's why people aren't joining. So if you're a veteran, or you know somebody who is, let me know what they think. Would they recommend the military to somebody else? And I'll see you guys next one. Peace.